Hey guys, let's get into creating this elegant look, shall we? Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to start off with clean skin. I'm going to start off with priming my skin as usual. I'm going to use my Milk Hydro Grip primer. I'm gonna brush my brow hairs up and I'm gonna go ahead and conceal underneath my brows. I'm using a really light concealer, which is the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer in the shade Toasted Almond. I love to use really light concealers under my brows just cause it just makes everything easier for me. Also, I have my brows microbladed, so that's why they look like they are already done, but they are really not. I'm going to go ahead and buff out the concealer under my brows with my Real Techniques Deluxe brush. I'm going to go ahead and buff the concealer in as much as I can. This is a really light concealer, so I want to buff it in so that I don't have the halo brows later on. So you want to take your time and buff everything out if you're using a really light concealer under your brows. For foundation today, I'm using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. This is the old formula. I'm trying to get through this bottle so I can go ahead and get the new one because I'm literally dying to use that. I heard it's so much better than this one, and this one is my absolute favorite foundation. It's very full coverage. I'm spreading it out with my Precision Concealer brush from Evita Joseph. I love to use this brush to spread out thicker consistencies because it just makes everything easier. If the foundation is more liquidy, I just love to just drop it on my face straight from the bottle, but this one is thicker. Also, it dries down fast. And yeah, I don't want my face to look cakey, so I love to spread it out evenly all over my face. And I'm gonna buff it out with my Morphe foundation brush, my absolute favorite foundation brush. I'm going back in with my very light concealer. I love a really bright under eye, so I'm gonna put that in the innermost parts of my eye. I'm gonna blend it out, you guys are gonna see soon. But this is from Huda Beauty, the concealer that I put under my brows. As you can see, it's like super light. This is in the shade Toasted Almond, if I didn't mention it earlier. And now I'm gonna use my regular highlighting concealer, which is from Too Faced Born This Way. It's in the shade Butterscotch. I'm gonna put that under the rest of my eye and wherever else I like to conceal and highlight, which is my mustache area, which I'm concealing, not so much highlighting. And I'm highlighting my chin, the bridge of my nose, and you know, a little bit of my forehead. I do not like to go crazy on my forehead because I already have a big forehead, so I don't want to make it look bigger. And I'm gonna go ahead and contour. I'm using my Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Medium. I'm gonna put that on the cheekbones, directly on it. I'm gonna put that on the perimeter of my forehead, really close to my hairline. And I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin, not so much my jawline. I'm gonna blend it out over there, but I'm just putting it on my chin because I realized that I use way too much on my chin and it doesn't really look good. So yeah, in my opinion, that is. I'm blending it out with my Morphe, I think this is the E4 brush. I'm using that to blend out my contour. This brush is amazing. It just blends everything out seamlessly. I'm letting the concealer sit underneath my eyes and wherever else I like to conceal and highlight because it just gives me a fuller coverage. Also, I'm gonna start blending out my concealer. I'm blending out the areas on my chin, my forehead, and my mustache area first before I go in under my eyes. If it sounds like I'm struggling to talk, it's because I am. I'm currently not feeling so well because of the change in the weather. It's just giving me a hard time. But yeah, I'm grateful for health and the fact that I can still talk. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the concealer under my eyes. I'm gonna leave the parts and the innermost parts under my eyes. I'm gonna blend that out with a beauty blender. I love to do that because the beauty blender just does an excellent job at blending and taking off the excess product. I don't like to pile up so much product under my eyes because it makes me crease. So doing this step just makes everything so much easier for me. So this is my Real Techniques contour brush. This brush is so bomb. If you watch my previous videos, I put all the numbers of the brushes that I use in there, so kindly watch that. That video is very detailed. This brush is so bomb. So yeah, I'm going in to blend out the area under my eyes, and I'm putting some of the concealer onto my eyelids to prime that as well for eyeshadow later. This is my Real Techniques sponge. This is damp, meaning that I put it under the running water, made sure that it was like really saturated with water, and then I squeezed every last drop out, and then I squeezed this in a tissue to take off any excess product, so it is very damp. That is how I love to blend out my concealer. Some people love to use dry sponges or beauty blenders, but I do not. I feel like it's just makes my makeup really weird and just makes it really patchy. So I love to use damp beauty blenders. As you can see, everything looks really seamless. I'm also gonna go ahead and blend what's on the bridge of my nose. That has been sitting there for way too long. So yeah. I'm going back in with my Morphe brush just to make sure that the highlighter didn't go overboard, especially around my face, like the perimeter of my face, just to make sure that the contour is still sitting. I love to do this, and I'm just spreading it out on my jawline as well. I didn't put product there. I'm just blending it out from the brush, like the products left on the brush. Also, I'm going back in with what I used to blend out my highlights. That is the contour brush from Real Techniques. This is to just make sure that I'm not creasing. I tend to crease a lot under my eyes and on my eyelids, so using a brush to just straighten everything out before I go in and set just makes everything really, really nice. I'm trying this out for the first time. This is the L'Oreal Mercier translucent powder in the shade Honey. Did I say translucent powder in the shade Honey? Loose setting powder in the shade Honey. I was using the translucent one, as you guys could tell, and it's almost finished. So yeah, I've had like a good run with that powder. I really, really love it. It's really great for my skin, considering the fact that I have oily combination skin. It doesn't make me crease. It's really, really lightweight. It's just an amazing powder. So I wanted to try this out because that one was a little bit ashy in my opinion. It was getting a little bit ashy, but I didn't mind because I always apply bronzer and whatnot. So yeah, I'm setting wherever I put the lighter concealer. I'm using my damp beauty blender. I pushed it under my eyes and everywhere else. I'm gonna go ahead and bake later on, but I like to push powder in before I do any baking because the baking I'm gonna dust off. So I'm gonna set the rest of my face with my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NT45. This is slightly lighter than me, but I realized that this foundation in particular, it oxidizes. So this powder that I'm using to set all over my face helps the foundation so that it doesn't oxidize so much. Because I realized that when I use this foundation and I go out and I use any other powder apart from this powder, it just looks darker and my neck looks lighter and it's just so weird. So yeah, I'm gonna use that to set all over my face. For bronzer, I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker bronzer in the shade Coco Naughty. I'm going to apply that onto the areas where I applied my cream contour. I'm just enhancing that. I'm using my brush from Morphe. I forgot the name of this brush, but I think I put it in my previous video, so kindly watch that. I will link it above for you guys. That video has so many details in it, so kindly go ahead and watch that after you watch this. Of course, I'm just going all over wherever I applied my cream contour and just making sure that I've brought some warmth back into my face. I'm also going back in with the same bronzer to contour my nose. I'm starting from underneath my brows and I'm going to bring it down the bridge of my nose, the sides of the bridge of my nose, that is, just to make my nose look snatched. You do not have to contour your nose if you do not want to. However, I am going to contour my nose because I love to contour my nose. So I'm going to start off with baking. I'm using the same powder from L'Oreal Mercier that I used to set my face earlier. I'm just going to push that under my eyes. I'm bringing it to the sides of the bridge of my nose just to clean up the contouring a bit because the bronzer was a little bit messy. I always do this just to make everything look very, very nice. I'm pushing the powder in, not so much pushing the powder in, I'm just, leaving it on the surface of my skin to bake and also to catch any fallout from the eyeshadow I'm going to be applying later on. This powder, you guys should be careful with it because if you have dry skin, do not bake with it. I could feel the moisture coming out of my skin. So yeah, I have oily skin, so I think I'm okay with doing that, especially if you use like a hydrating concealer. like the Too Faced Born This Way. That is great for under the eyes. So anyways, I'm gonna do my brows. I'm using the Evita Joseph Expert Brow Liner in the shade Rich Expresso. You guys should just watch me do my brows. That's not a lot of explaining to do because I just left all the details in the video. I go below my brows, above my brows, and then I just fill them in. For eyeshadow, I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills X Jackie Aina eyeshadow palette. I went in with the shade Ginger. I put that into my crease. I'm blending it out with my Evita Joseph Deluxe Crease Blending Brush. I believe that's what it's called. So I'm just gonna blend that into my crease. I'm also gonna go in with the shade Edges. I'm just gonna tap that onto the outer V portion of my eyelid. I'm trying to do like a very light smoky eyeshadow, like a gold smoky eyeshadow. This look is like one of my go-to looks, and I feel like it's like really easy to do, especially if you are a beginner. You don't need a lot of details to do this. Plus, it's like a full cut crease. Even though you don't use concealer to cut your crease, you are literally using eyeshadow. So this is where I'm trying to cut my crease with eyeshadow, guys. I'm using the shade Soleil from the palette. It's a gold champagne eyeshadow, shimmery color, which I am putting all over my eyelid, and I'm trying to cut my crease with it. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's not like a very perfect cut crease, guys. Also, I'm gonna smoke out my outer V with the shade Credits. I believe this is the most used color in my palette because it certainly gets a lot of love from me. It's just like a rich, cool tone brown, which I love, especially for smoky eyes. Just look at how pigmented it is, guys. And I'm using the same brush that I started with. Also, I went back in with the shade Edges just to diffuse the brown just a little bit so that there's a gradient going on. And I just went into my crease just to blend everything out. And yeah, that's about it for the eyeshadow. As you can see, it just looks really good. I love this eyeshadow, this type of eyeshadow for like go-to glam looks. Also, I'm tight lining my eyes with my eyeliner. I believe this is from So Aesthetics. I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah, I'm going back in the shade with Edges and Ginger. I'm using that to smoke out my lower lash line just because I use that on my eyes just to tie everything together. I'm going in with my So Aesthetics liquid eyeliner. This is by far my favorite liquid eyeliner, and I've had it for so long and it's not finished yet. I thought it was going to finish because it's literally like a tiny bottle, but it's amazing. It dries now matte and it's really, really black. So I'm using that to create a wing. I wanted to do like a dramatic wing. I'm not very good with doing wings. I just honestly try my best. Wings are not my favorites, but I just wanted to add a wing to this look because it's like a full glam holiday look for my beginners, you know. Yeah, so I'm just doing that onto my eyelid. I'm also going to be applying my eyelashes on it, so it's also going to serve as like a base for my eyelashes. So while I was waiting for my eyelashes to dry, of course I already applied lash glue to them and I was just waiting for them to get tacky. I'm going to dust and blend in the powder that I used to bake. And I'm going back in with the brush that I applied my all over face powder with. Even though I didn't have any more, I didn't add any extra products. I was literally just using the brush to blend out all over my face just to make sure everything is tied in and looks very seamless. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my blush from Juvia's Place in the shade Bella. I'm using the same brush that I applied my bronzer with from Morphe. I'm just applying that onto the apples of my cheeks. This is also one of my favorite matte blushes. It's just really pigmented, so you want to be careful with that. I was putting a little bit of blush on my nose. I do that often. Yeah, I love how it looks. And I'm going back in with my Super Stay powder from Maybelline. This is in the shade 332. It's very light. And I put a little bit on my setting brush from Real Techniques, and I just use that to blend what's under my eyes so that I don't lose the highlights, and it just gives me a little bit more coverage. It doesn't give flashback, this powder especially, so if you're worried about flashback, this powder doesn't give flashback. And if you have dry skin, do not do this step. Just literally just blend in your setting powder and go your way. Do not add any more powder under your eyes, guys, please. Also, if you use like a matte concealer under your eyes, do not do this step because you're gonna look like really wrinkly. I tried that and it didn't look good, even though I have oily skin. So yeah, this is me struggling with my eyelashes. I had nail extensions on, so it was a little bit of a struggle, but we did it. We pulled through. I'm gonna set all over my face with my Pixie makeup fixing mist. I really love how the eyeshadow turned out. I'm also gonna go in with my new Laura Mercier light catcher in the shade Honey Star. I wanted to get that Honey Star shade because the previous one, which was the Celestial Rose, I wanted to add to my makeup kit for clients, and I wanted to use this for myself. So obviously I sanitized the other one and I put it in my clients' kits. This one suits my skin tone more, and the other one suits a lot of skin tones, from my skin tone to darker skin tones. So I just wanted to add that to my kits. Yeah, so I'm putting the highlighter onto my cheekbones. I saw people using this powder to set their concealer. Girl, if you have oily skin, do not do that. You're gonna look shiny as hell. It's not cute at all. So I'm going in with my Bethmaine eyebrow gel. This just softens the brow and it just makes everything look really, really nice. So I applied that at the front part of my brows, and I went back in with my spoolie to spread it out just to make sure the brow looks really good. I'm going back in with my NYX lip liner in the shade Expresso. I'm gonna use that to line my lips. for my lip color, I'm gonna use my Cherry Blossom from Colored Rain, one of my favorite lipsticks. This is like a very nice red lip, and I was using a red lip to tie this look together because it's like a holiday glam. And what's like the best lip color for holidays? It's red, because it's bold, it's pretty, it's elegant, and it just makes everything look really nice. And red is my favorite color, so of course I'm putting that all over my lips. You can use this lip color even if you do not line your lips. I just love to line my lips because I'm extra. So yeah, that's the entire look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Oh my god, I love my eyeliner. It just looks really nice and dramatic. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.